A fisherman pulled out a large piece of gold while fishing, but because it was covered in dirt and moss, the gold was dull and unrecognizable, and the fisherman did not know its value, so he threw it away as trash. Years later, a mason picked it up and used it to repair a crack in the city wall where the gold was pressed firmly under the wall and endured heavy shelling from cannons. Countless years later, a girl climbed the city wall hoping to see a handsome prince, but she was caught and fell in a panic, causing the gold to fall to the ground with her and the overlying dirt to shatter. Seeing the gold inside the stone, he quickly took it home, and after cleaning it, a golden bottle-like shape gradually appeared. But during cleaning, the girl accidentally broke the bottle, and multicolored black smoke rushed out, soon turning into a huge creature. The girl fainted on the spot. Then a large hand caught and woke her, and that figure told the girl that he was actually a spirit trapped in the gold bottle and was cursed, and whoever made 3 promises to him. Hearing that the elf herself could be liberated, the girl fulfilled her first wish without hesitation. The girl was actually a slave, but fell in love with the prince and wanted to be with him forever, so the elf poured magical oil from a pavilion and told the girl to apply it all over her body, and for safety, they hid the magical oil under the floor tiles so it wouldn't fall into the hands of bad people. And then the elf whispered the girl's name in the prince's ear. Sure enough, the next day, the prince fell in love with her at first sight, and the girl grew up to be the most favorite concubine. To secure her position, the girl fulfilled her second wish from the elf, hoping to give birth to a son for the prince, and the elf fulfilled her wish again. Being very happy, she became arrogant and overbearing, which offended the other concubines, and they began to conspire, thus starting a power struggle in the royal family. Among many royal concubines, the old king liked only Lena, who was very ambitious and determined to put her son on the throne, taking advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. First, she spread rumors to create the illusion that the prince was plotting a rebellion. Then she whispered in the king's ear to create a fight between father and son. Eventually, the old king believed her and in anger made a bad decision, calling the prince and having him strangled with a bowstring by his trusted people. The poor prince lost his life in this mysterious way, and after learning about the prince's death, the elf immediately found the girl and asked her to fulfill one last wish. However, the girl's heart was broken and she did not make any wish, as a result of which she fell into the hands of the assassins, and the queen's men put her in a sack and threw her into the sea. The elf chased her to save her but was stopped by a monster, and after the monster disappeared, the elf quickly jumped into the sea, but by then it was too late. When he arrived, the girl had already drowned, and because the girl did not make a last wish, the elf could not be saved and was locked back in the bottle. To see the light of day again, the elf spirit wandered the palace every day trying to get people's attention, but people could not see him at all. Until many years later, a small boy was drawn to some mysterious force and accidentally found that the stone slab was hollow underneath, so he called his younger brother to help him open it. Both brothers worked together, but the slab did not move. Then their mother suddenly appeared and stopped them, and the genie once again missed the chance to escape. However, the genie also witnessed the rise and fall of this dynasty. The boy got the throne at the age of 11, and at 19, he led an army and carried out massacres across the country. Years of killing made the boy bloodthirsty, and he never took off his blood-stained battle cloak. Facing such an evil god of war, the clever mother decided to destroy him completely, first by arranging an endless supply of fine wine every day to keep him drunk, then bringing him the best fruits from all over the country. Year after year, his body had become completely weak, and Zeus' battle sword was covered with spiderwebs. Then one day, he heard the voice of the genie, and trembling, he came to the backyard. The genie was very excited as hundreds of years of waiting finally paid off, but suddenly, the king's body became very weak, and he died on the spot before he could get out of the way. It was only when a woman named Tangquai appeared that the genie got another chance to see the light of day. As the genie quickly asked her to fulfill 3 wishes, that terrible woman thought the genie was after her beauty. Then she angrily made a wish, asking the genie to sink to the deepest part of the sea. Hundreds of years passed, and a girl was cleaning fish when she suddenly found a golden bottle in the fish's belly. She carefully cleaned the dirt, thinking she was going to be very rich, but suddenly, thick black-purple smoke came out, and the genie was reborn. To break the curse and get freedom, the genie asked the girl to quickly fulfill 3 wishes. However, the girl was quite strange and was in no hurry to fulfill her wishes, but instead asked the genie to praise her creations and inventions. The genie was also very surprised as he never expected such wonderful things to exist, besides magic. Then, the girl showed him another one of her discoveries. The world might remember her like the genius Leonardo da Vinci, but in the feudal society of that time, all the girl's creations and inventions were considered evil witchcraft. But the girl's thirst for knowledge grew so much that she thought of her first wish, to gain more knowledge. Then, the genie put many books together and magically turned them into a potion, and as long as the girl drank the potion, she would get all the knowledge inside. However, despite being very knowledgeable, there were some problems she could not solve, such as time, space, and quantum gravity, which made her very upset, so she made her second wish, to have the ability to understand all things. In an instant, she saw the truth and secrets of the world, and all this knowledge settled in that woman's mind, and she could find the answer to any unsolved problem. But because she knew everything, she lost the purpose of her life, which gradually broke her mentally. In anger, the girl said she wished the genie had never come into her world, and suddenly this became her third third wish. The genie was locked back in the bottle, and she completely forgot about his existence. Hundreds of years later, a woman named Gu Yi found the bottle in which the genie was trapped in the junk of an antique shop and took it home, preparing to clean it and use it as a vase. But suddenly, a cloud of colorful smoke came out. Then, everything gathered and ran quickly out of the door. The woman was scared and froze there, and in the blink of an eye, the smoke turned into a very large, small foot. The woman went up to try to see it clearly, but suddenly the foot retracted. She slowly stepped out of the room, put on her glasses, and saw a huge god standing in front of her. Gu Yi carefully tried to talk to him, but even after trying many languages, there was no answer. It wasn't until Gu Yi spoke in ancient Greek that the other person replied, telling her that he was a genie and had been locked up for hundreds of years. Then he put his hand on the bookshelf and began to understand the information in it, after which he put his hand on the computer and began to learn about current social information. Not only that, the genie was very curious about the characters appearing on TV and pulled them out of the screen. Gu Yi got scared and quickly asked the genie to release them, and being thankful, the genie released them and asked her to fulfill 3 wishes. However, Gu Yi was still troubled by this sudden change, so the genie, seeing Gu Yi's nervousness, took a human-like form to talk to her. He was desperate to fulfill her 3 wishes. Otherwise, he would never escape the curse of moping. The genie told Gu Yi his story. 3,000 years ago, although the genie was a follower of the Queen of Sheba, he loved her very much. Everything changed until King Solomon came and played a beautiful music for the queen. The queen was immediately captivated by that enchanting music, but she still put 3 challenges to Solomon: to find a special red thread from among 3,000 royal houses, to name her giant mother, and to reveal her deepest desire. She did not know that King Solomon had the power to talk to animals, so he had ants find the red thread for him, and the blackfish spirit Benbalbar told the queen's mother's name. Finally, seeing the queen, he told his deepest desire, at which point the queen fell completely in love with King Solomon and went into his arms. The genie hidden nearby was heartbroken. Suddenly, King Solomon found him, and using powerful magic, he locked the genie in a copper pot, then turned into an eagle and threw the pot into the sea. After wandering for 3,000 years, Gu Yi finally became the master of the genie. The genie's story touched Gu Yi's heart deeply, so she made her first wish that the genie would fall in love with her, a love that would never betray each other. The genie gently hugged Gu Yi and they fell in love. In the days that followed, Gu Yi and the genie were very happy together. Gu Yi continued to go to work as usual, and as soon as her work was finished, she would run home because her love was waiting for her. She hoped that the genie would return to his world and live freely. As soon as the words left her lips, the magic bottle trapping the genie broke. The genie was finally freed from the curse and got freedom. After the genie left, Gu Yi recorded all the moments spent with him. She had no regrets about her third wish. Perhaps the highest form of love is letting go. Gu Yi was walking in the meadow, feeling the fresh air of nature. Suddenly, she realized something. The genie, regaining his powers in his world, would return to the modern world to stay with Gu Yi for some time. They will cherish every moment spent together. Finally, if you find the magic bottle, what would you wish for?